Guys, today is a huge day. After years and waiting and searching and dreaming, I finally got them. My absolute dream reptiles, the #1 reptile I've ever wanted to own. The ones that look just like little mini crocodiles, just like a dragon, straight out of a fantasy film that should be guarding a castle full of treasure. The red-eyed crocodile skink. And here it is, the red-eyed crocodile skinks. If you haven't seen them before, they look like dragons. People think these are fake, but they're not. Look at those fiery red eyes, the prehistoric scales, and they just look like mini dragons. I think if you didn't know this was a real reptile, you might believe it was fake. I've seen people comment saying this is fake, but look at the scales. Looks like a little crocodile. They're totally amazing, and you can see why I'm actually so in love with them. Now, I knew that I wanted these for quite some time, so I'd actually had this enclosure set up for a while. You'd probably seen it in the backgrounds on some of the videos. The good thing about that is I managed to get it exactly right for how they wanted it. Now, we will go over more of their care and tips in the future. This will be a little series and hopefully the road to producing some babies. I've got 2 cameras, one at the top, one at the side. So hopefully we can capture them along the way. Now, the first thing that I was really worried about were they even going to eat? And I'll show you a bit of footage now. We did see one of them eating. Now the next thing, and hopefully we'll see it in future videos, is them both coming out together and both of them eating. I've had them for a little while and they are healthy and they are putting on a small bit of weight, which is really amazing and hopefully means they're healthy and they will give us hopefully a baby or 2. I don't know the age of these. Unfortunately, these were wild caught. You just can't get captive bred ones for love nor money, which is part of the reason why I want to breed them. And then the people I know who really want some, hopefully I can give them captive bred ones and we can keep the wild population as it is and we can enjoy these animals at home in a semi-sustainable way for years to come. So red-eye crocodile skinks, they're semi-aquatic, secretive little creatures. They love humid environments, plenty of hiding spaces, and they're not big climbers, although we have seen them climb up the cork bark a few times. So I've created a setup that mimics the rainforest floor, well, in my eyes, with moss, cork bark, a shallow water pool that they can just about get in submerged but get out easily, and lots of cover, basically a little dragon kingdom. Now, you'll see in mine, there's loads and tons of leaves and hides. A lot of people make the mistake when they get it that they think they're going to see the animal all the time, so it's big open spaces. That just is not the case for crocodile skinks. The more hides you get, actually, the more likely you are to see them. Now, these guys aren't really a handle all the time animal. In fact, probably a never at all animal. I only handle them when I'm going to weigh them, make sure they're putting on weight, or on the very rare occasion that I might need to take them to the vets. They're shy, they like to keep themselves to themselves, and honestly, it makes it even more rewarding when they actually come out and show their faces and do something, and we get to see them explore a little bit and show some of their natural behaviours. In that respect, they are just like dragons, mythical creatures, you never see them. So if you're after a pet that you want to handle all the time, this is not the pet for you. Now, I knew you shouldn't handle them all the time, so when I brought them, I was well aware of that. For me, it's more about observing their natural behaviours and hopefully one day breeding them. That being said, there are some YouTubers like Reptileatus who's got incredible animals and must have incredible husbandry skills, because most of his animals, including his crocodile skinks, come and feed off tongs. Now, I don't know how he does it. It must be dedication and thumbs up to him, because I haven't managed it yet. That being said, after a bit of time, gaining their trust, maybe things will change and we will keep trying, but I don't like to disturb them too much. Okay, so you've seen my dream reptile and I finally got it. What makes them so perfect? I don't really know. I think it's the way they look. I think it's their secretive nature. And I think it's the fact, how lucky are we that we get to own these things in our own home? But it's down to us to give them the best care we can. So with that being said, let's have 10 fun facts. Can facts be fun? Yeah, they can actually. So, #1, the fiery red ring around its eyes. I'm only saying fiery because it sounds like dragons. It's actually just an orange ring more than red. However, it's only the adults that have got it. I believe it's from 6 months onwards. Now, if you've seen any of the babies, they've got kind of a real pale head. And I don't know if that's to do with camouflage when they're younger, but the adults have bright red. Now, I think mine are adults. The male definitely much larger. It's about 35, 38 grams at the moment. Female, when we got her, was 20 grams. She's about 25 now, but there are things that make me think they possibly are sexually mature. You have to find out in a later video for that. #2. That's lame, but I'm gonna have to do it now because I've started, otherwise I won't be able to sleep tonight. Now, as I've said, they are super shy. I hardly ever see them during the day. Now, That being said, that's because they're crepuscular, which means, or for me, they are most active at dawn and dusk. Now, in the wild, they're incredibly shy as well. They're found under logs and leaf litter and moss, hiding constantly from bigger predators that see skinks as food. How can anyone see them as food? They're so cute. Number 3, they originate from the rainforests of Papua New Guinea. Papua? That's how I think you should say it, Papua. I've got to stop saying it now. That's far too many times to say Papua New Guinea. However, in the wild, they're found consistently near streams, bodies of water, because they do like water. Like I said before, semi-aquatic. Mine are in the water. When I see them, more than I see them, they're mainly in the water, to be fair, having a little bask. And I think it helps them when they shed their skin. Again, reminds me, I've got an amazing clip, which will be in a future video. So make sure you subscribe for that and hit the bell notification, because it's such a cool clip, but it's not time for that yet. Number 4. Now, number 4, they're little tiny scales and armor plating. Now that's what makes them look like crocodiles, and hence where the name comes from. Now, I think that's not just for protection. I believe it's also to scare predators off, spiky, make yourself look big and aggressive. And with that red eye, I imagine it does scare some predators off, but it's not going to scare the big ones off. They're only tiny at the end of the day. Now, number 5. Now this is the one which I find very much infuriating. Have you seen all the people holding their crocodile skinks and they're just still and they're going, oh look how friendly and lovely this one is? No, they're not. They're terrified. One of their traits and one of their key characteristics to escape predators in the wild is to play possum, to play dead. So when you're holding them and it's not moving, it's because they're scared stiff. If you look at Reptiliatus again, he has one where the crocodile skink comes in his hands and he feeds him, but it's constantly moving, it's not scared. So everyone holding them, stop it, stop doing it. The skink doesn't like it, it's scared, it thinks it's going to be eaten. So please stop holding them. Number 6, unlike most lizards, these are one of the few lizards that can vocalize, and I've heard the noise and you will see it at the end if you stay right to the end. Now, it's kind of a cute noise, but again, they're only making it because they're scared. But it is kind of quirky to hear and I can't help but find it cute. And maybe that's my fault and I'm a bad person. Now, number 7, what do they eat? Insects, they're insectivores. Mine eat worms, mealworm, superworm, waxworms. Not too many waxworms, they're a little bit fatty, but the occasional treat. They eat crickets as well, but I've had to stop using them because they keep escaping. They make so much noise. But once the garage reptile room's done, then we'll start feeding crickets again. But yeah, basically anything that wriggles, they'll eat. And to be fair, we've seen them eat a few times now and it is kind of cute. Number 8, they love humidity. Mine are hooked up to a automatic misting system to make it easier. You're looking between 70% and 90% humidity. Now, mine stay there constantly. You don't want it soaking wet, but they do love the moisture. And I've seen a few times where they kind of sliver through the mud like you would see a crocodile or an alligator do it. And it's kind of cool to see, but yeah, they love the humidity. So please make sure you'll see on my tank, the top is covered up mainly. There's still ventilation, but yeah, keep that humidity right up. Now, number 9, and I've only put this one in here to stress it again. Stop handling them. They don't need to handle. They are a non-handleable reptile. You can grab them, but they won't run away. So they'd be terrified. It is tempting, don't get me wrong. When I first got them, I did hold them because I had to get them out of the package. And I do hold them every 5 to 8 weeks when I've weighed them to make sure they're healthy. But now that I know they're healthy, I see them on the cameras, there's no need for me to hold them again, no matter how tempting it is. There's loads of videos on YouTube with people mistreating them, putting them in different situations to make them look funny. And yeah, I guess they see it as entertainment and they get millions of views. So maybe other people do as well. But I don't think it's funny to mistreat an animal at all, especially one that's a dragon. Come on, guys. And number 10, with perfect care and looking after them, these things are going to live upwards of 10 years, which means they're going to be your pet for a long time. Now, within that time, they're going to grow, hopefully have babies. But just bear in mind, these aren't an animal you've got for a year or two. They're going to be with you for a long time. So make sure you give them the best care you can. Okay, and one bonus fact, number 11. The crocodile skinks, the reason there's not many captive bred ones is because they only lay 1 egg at a time, and they only do it between 4 and 6 times a year through the season. But they are incredibly good parents. Most people seem to leave the eggs with the parents and then let them hatch there and raise them up there. I don't know what point you have to separate them, if you do at all. but they do show some paternal and maternal instincts. So that's kind of good. But yeah, there's facts for you. Were they fun? I don't know. You let me know. Let's get on with the video. I can't even explain how surreal and absolutely amazing it feels to finally have them. Now, we did have to drive 2.5 hours to get these, and it was a lot of stress. However, we managed to find some in good health. Like, I finally got my own pair of little mini dragons that in the future will live in the garage reptile and fish room. Things are looking amazing for us. This has been a dream for so long, and seeing them in person, well, I say seeing them, sometimes seeing them in person every day, is unreal, and I couldn't be more grateful for the hobby that we're in. So yeah, this is the start of a whole new journey for our crocodile skinks, our little dragons. That's right, mine and yours, because you can join me every step of the way, and maybe even some feeding videos, maybe with tongs one day, you never know. So before we go, there are a couple of things I need help with. Now, these things don't have names. There is a male and a female, so comment down below, let us know a name that you think would suit them. Now, obviously people are going to say Toothless and Dragon from Game of Thrones. I don't want those. I want original names. So go to the comment sections and let us know. If you love reptiles, or you think these little mini dragons are as epic as I do, then hit the like button, subscribe, and join me on this adventure. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.